13 to 16 says, and this is referring to Abraham, all this died in faith without receiving the promises. Abraham died without receiving the promises. But having seen them and having welcomed them from a distance and having confessed that they are strangers and exiles on this earth. For those who say such things makes it clear that they are seeking a country of their own. And indeed, if they had been thinking of that country from which they went out, they would have the opportunity to return. But as it is, they desired a better country, that is, a heavenly one. Therefore, God is not ashamed to be called their God, for He has prepared a city for them. Abraham had all the opportunity to go back in Ur and spend that 400 shekels of silver to build a palace. He chose not to. He chose to live as an alien and a sojourner all his life. The question is this: how long are we willing to be faithful to the callings of God in our life? How long? Are we willing to give up the security that this world can give for a promise that God has given us? Are we willing to give it up? Astoundingly, Abraham persisted in bearing a lower status in life. He chose to remain as a stranger, as an alien in this world, embracing the status until his very end, holding only to the promises of God. That God will reward him not in this lifetime, but in the life to come. And to Abraham, that is okay. Is that okay? I mean, is it really okay for you to forgo all what this world can offer for a promise of God? Let me read you a story about Henry Morrison. After 40 years of faithful service to the Lord as a missionary to Africa, Henry Morrison and his wife was returning to New York. As the ship neared the dock, Henry said to his wife, "Look at the crowd. They haven't forgotten about us." However, unknown to Henry, the ship also carried President Teddy Roosevelt, returning from a big game hunting trip in Africa. Roosevelt stepped down from the boat with great fanfare. As people were cheering, flag was waving, bands were playing, and reporters waiting for his comment. Henry and his wife slowly walked away unnoticed. They hailed a cab which took them to a one-bedroom apartment which has been provided by the missions board. Henry was sick at that time, and the only money that he had was the money in his pocket. Over the next few weeks, Henry tried but failed to put this incident behind him. He was sinking deeper and deeper into depression when one evening he said to his wife, "This is all wrong. This man comes back from a hunting trip and everybody throws a big party for him. We give our lives faithfully for the service of God for all these many years, but no one seems to care." His wife cautioned him that he should not feel this way. Henry replied, "I know, but I just can't help it. It just isn't right." His wife then said, "Henry, you know God doesn't mind if we honestly question Him. You need to tell Him this to the Lord and get this settled now. You'll be useless in His ministry until you do." Henry Morrison then went to his bedroom, got down on his knees, and shades of Habakkuk began pouring out in his heart to the Lord. Lord, you know our situation and what's troubling me. We gladly serve you faithfully for years without complaining. But now, God, I just can't get this incident out of my mind. After 10 minutes of fervent prayer, Henry returned to the living room with a peaceful look on his face. His wife said, "It looks like you've resolved the matter. What happened?" Henry replied, "The Lord settled it for me. I told him how bitter I was that the president received this tremendous homecoming, but no one even met us as we returned home. When I finished, it seems as though God put his hand on my shoulder and simply said, 'But Henry, you are not home yet.'" I believe that Henry Morrison finally went home. And the celebration that he received dwarfed the homecoming that Teddy Roosevelt received at that time. And I can imagine the tens of thousands of Africans who he reached for Christ standing at the gates of heaven, applauding him and welcoming him home. And at the end of the line is Jesus Christ himself saying, "Good and faithful servant, come in to my house." Let us not be blinded by what this world can offer. Let us not be sidetracked from the calling of God in our life. Let us not be disheartened by the present statutes and condition of our life. For this is not our place, and this is not our home. Hebrews 10:23 says, "Let us hold fast the confession of our faith without wavering. For he who promised is faithful." Are you living your life consistent to the promises and commands of God? Brothers and sisters, are you willing to be like Abraham, committed to the promise of God to the very end?